veil, which uses inversion energy. It has a large output, which requires processing of tens of billions of units of data per second. According to the scan results, the structure that appears to be a computing device is full of bulbous artificial brains. This is how they are processing all that data. Continue to insert bulbous artificial brains into the computing device, Descendant. If you overload the device, the veil will be neutralized.
Hello guys. So today I want to show you my build for Hailey. I'm not using these builds for like general game, I mean mobbing. It doesn't matter what type of level, because it's not that it's impossible to build her for mobbing, but she's not optimal, because really the only skill that is suitable for that is her first ability, but then you have to spec and invest specifically for that ability, and she will be useless for bossing. And her main purpose is to be a boss killer, because all the other skills, like her second skill, yes, her second skill and her third skill have crazy damage multipliers, like insane damage, and they're just, you know, for example, her fourth ability has default 4 shots, and then the number of shots scale from the weapon that she's holding at the moment of shooting. So for example, of course I'm using the piercing light, everyone is using the piercing light. So if you have more shots on the piercing light, like rounds per magazine, then this will give you more shots on her fourth ability. And as you can see, her fourth ability is like 3600% damage multiplier, and her second ability is almost 9000% damage multiplier. So these two, because they have like crazy cooldowns, as you can see, this one is 30 seconds cooldown, this is 50 seconds cooldown. So you have to well, of course her first ability has just 8 seconds cooldown, but if you want to build her on for mobbing, you have to invest heavily on cooldown, so that you can bring it like 1 second to 1 second cooldown. And the reason for that is because then you want to spam it, obviously, because you have to kill the mobs as fast as possible. But as you can see, the damage is just like 93% is damage multiplier on her first ability. So, and yes, of course she has additional damage depending on the condition, but mobbing is not her number one priority. What she is about is killing bosses in few shots, right? So the build is just specifically about bossing and not mobbing. So for this purpose, again, it's a crit based build, because if you read her third ability, what it does is that when you activate her third ability, it will start consuming your MP continuously, but it will give you Cold Fury, and this Cold Fury stacks, so you can generate up to 16 stacks, and at 16 stacks you will have, so it gives you like 2.5% increased crit hit rate per stack. So, and this is skill critical hit rate, and it's base skill critical hit rate. So for example, if I activate it, okay, let me show you just before activation how much I have. So now I have 9.6% crit hit rate, skill crit hit rate. So without skill insight, I have almost 10%. Right, and this will give me some more, but it's not gonna put me at 15%. That's for sure. So, and I'll explain you the reason why we are not using skill insight. Basically, this is the build that I'm using. So the only critical hit modules that I'm using are the front lines, then skill concentration, and emergency measures. Now, as you could see, I was at 9.6% with these modules equipped, right? So if I activate her third ability, now you can see this starts rising, and we will reach a value of 86%, which you don't need, by the way, 86%. And this is the reason why, so let me stop this. So this is the reason why we are not using the skill insight, because if you use skill insight, yes, it will put you at 100% skill crit hit rate. And you would say, well, that means that every shot would be critical. Like, why not putting skill insight if we can reach 100% skill crit hit rate? The answer to that is that there is another person, another content creator that tested these things. So I will leave a link in the description for his video about Hailey. And there he tested the boss resistance to critical hits, and every colossus has at least 20%. Some of them have 27% crit hit resistance, and gluttony has 80% skill crit hit resistance, which means that anything above 75% skill critical hit resistance and weapon critical hit, like for example, if we're using let's say piercing light, if you have here this value, firearm crit hit rate above 75%, it's wasted. Okay, any critical hit rate, it doesn't matter if it's skill critical hit rate or weapon critical hit rate, if it's more than 75%, you're wasting stats, basically just another module that you can equip that will give you actually more damage. So that's why we are not using skill inside. But if you remove anything else from here, you will be below 75%. I think without without this one, without front lines, I would be at around 67 skill crit hit rate. So, and this one gives you also crit damage, so it's better to use this one. That's the reason why we are not using all four crit modules. Now for this I'm using spear and shield, because again it's bossing build, it's not mobbing. If I was using mobbing build, I would be using increased def, because it would give me more defense than this one, and I don't want her to be that squishy when it comes to prolonged fights. But she's so strong in bossing that she would kill them in seconds before they can hit her, if you are playing so, of course, that you don't really need that much defense. And if you take a look, I am at 19k defense and 13k HP, so that's more than enough. And this gives you quite nice skill power as well. I know that it's just 8.1%, but given that her multipliers are insane, 8.1% is not nothing. Then increased HP, again skill concentration, front lines and emergency measures. These are for the skill critical hit rate and skill critical hit damage. Then dangerous ambush. This is very nice for bossing, and especially if you prefer to play it in public, where the bosses can target someone else, you can get additional damage. But you get this the bonus from this module even if you're playing so most of the time, because just when you one shot like weak point of the boss, let's say the shoulder, then they will be in this phase, the staggered phase, where you will get both bonuses, because they are not attacking you, they are staggered, and obviously they are immobilized, right? So you get the full bonus from the module. Then focus on chill for more skill power. MP conversion. Now you don't need to use this one if you are fine with it. If you don't prefer, like if you are fine with the cooldown, for example, I like the cooldown to be low so that I can use it more often, so that's why I'm using MP conversion. Then maximize conservation for skill cost, and that's mainly for her third ability, because it's continuous MP, drains continuously your MP, and we are using the Slayer set, which is increases your skill cost. But again, if you have on the Slayer set, okay, just let me finish here. The last module that I'm using is HP amplification, because I don't care about the max shield, right? It lowers my max shield, so my max shield, as you can see, is 800 now, but I don't really care about the max shield, because shield, at least at this point in the game, how the game works at this point, shield is not as valuable as HP. So having more HP is more valuable, in my opinion. So for the Slayer set, you have to use the Slayer set because it gives you a very nice skill power boost. This is what increases your damage significantly. But it also increases the skill cost, and she doesn't have skill cost on her fourth ability, like it just you activate it and shoot it. You can even activate it at 0 MP, but her third ability drains MP continuously, and you obviously you want to be in your third ability when you activate your fourth ability, because this is what will give you the critical hits that will the critical hits are what's doing the insane damage. So one way in which you can remove this maximize conservation and put something else is by having more MP. For example, here max MP, I have it with blue row. If you have it with yellow row, and then I think it was here on the auxiliary, and here you can roll MP recovery out of combat and MP recovery in combat. And then on some of the other components, yes, here you can roll MP recovery modifier. This one is good actually. So defense and MP recovery modifier. This is nice. And then here and here, I think you can roll MP recovery out of combat and MP recovery in combat. And if you have these two and max roll on max MP, then it would be fine to remove maximize conservation, because it's not gonna drain your MP as fast. But again, this is my personal preference for the maximize conservation. Here, for example, you can run focus on singular, but again, focus on singular will give you honestly nothing, given that her modifiers are already like 3600%. Unfortunately, focus on singular gives you damage modifier, which does nothing in her case. But you can put shot focus instead of maximize conservation if you have it. This one is not so easy to get because you can only get it by combining modules, but you can use this one, which will give you more damage instead of maximize conservation. Again, if you have this on the Slayer set, what I already explained. For the reactor, you want a reactor for the weapon that you're using, obviously, and the weapon should be piercing light. It's not necessary. I've seen other people using some pistols with nothing on them, almost nothing, right? Still it's fine. But piercing light, if you have it, it's the optimal, and it will give you the most damage if you fully invest into it. So my reactor is for piercing light, and you want it again singular. Then what you want on the reactor is skill critical hit damage and additional skill attack when attacking colossus. These affixes are in my opinion the best that you can get. I know that some people are using singular skill power boost ratio more, or like modifier or whatever it was, which still gives you damage, but in my opinion a crit damage would give you more damage. That's just my personal opinion. And then you definitely want damage to colossus. Unfortunately, my arrow for damage on colossus is just blue, but if you have it on yellow or purple, it's significant. Like the difference between blue and yellow is significant in terms of damage to bosses. So this is what I'm using for the reactor. Now for the piercing light, I'm using exactly the same build that the other content creator is using. I think it was Vash. Maybe I'm butchering his name, but anyway, the link is in the description, so go and check out that video. Basically, I'm using exactly the same build that he's using for the piercing light, and I really think that this is the optimal build. There is only one difference. Okay, he's using special sight, and I prefer to use weak point expansion. But again, it's up to you, because in my personal experience, when I shoot if I play Soul, let's say, right? When I shoot the first shot, and most likely it will be critical, right? Then I get an additional 140% damage. And this is obviously because the first shot that I'm shooting will be on weak point, like the shoulder or whatever is the weak point. And this most likely will just one shot the weak point. Like if it's the shoulder, it will completely remove the shoulder cap, right? And it will most likely put the boss in this immobilized state. Then you get the full benefit from the dangerous ambush, and he will be immobilized for such a long time that you will be able to shoot him one or two more times and he will be dead. So that's what I like. But if you want consistency, right, and especially if you play in public, this might be better for this one. The special sight might be better for you, and I really advise you to just swap between the two and experiment, see what you prefer most. I prefer the weak point expansion, but if you want consistency, then this is the one that you should be using, the special sight, because this is on every successful weak point hit you will get the 30% bonus. This you will get 140% bonus, which is a lot more, yes, but it's every 10 seconds. So let's say that you shoot once on the weak point, then you get the bonus. Then no matter how many times you shoot in the next 10 seconds on weak points, you are not gonna get any weak point bonus from this module. You'll still get the bonus from this module, but you won't get the bonus from this for the next 10 seconds. So if you don't like that and you prefer consistency, again, use special sight. So that's it for the build, and if you want me to show you, I can just demonstrate you. So okay, that was 11 million yes, 11 million damage. But that's on the, now these guys, as you can see, they are weak to chill damage, and they are level 1, right? But this is the value that you can get, like 11 million damage. Now if you test this on level 100, obviously the damage should be less. Yes, it's around 2 million, no, 6 million, yeah, 6 million damage on level 100. And that's it. That's, I think, sums up everything about this build. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.
I'll be there when the lights don't shine. I'll be there in the sleep.